violence, combat, competition. It's in our blood. It's in our nature to test our skills and seek out victory by any means necessary. You are about to witness a competition like no other. 36 amateur fighters in 3 weight classes will do battle in a grueling league, fighting for points and a chance to be crowned champion. With so many variables, few things are certain. One will rise, many will fall, and no one's getting paid. 36 fighters with 0 experience began the most difficult journey of their lives. After 6 exhausting trials by fire, the contenders have emerged, with 1 battle left to become champion. Competition. It's in our blood. And tonight, that blood will be spilled as these warriors fight to survive among the global MEGAfist 12.
It is a huge conclusion to 2019. This is the Global MEGAfist 12. It came on the scene and it turned heads literally and unwillingly, in the sense of necks have snapped over the course of these 6 months. It is episode 17, the grand finals, the grand finale of the 2019 tournament. 36 amateur mixed martial artists came together in July of this year. Tonight, 2 from each of the 3 weight classes are remaining to do battle to be crowned inaugural 2019 Global MEGAfist 12 champion. My name is Derek Osceola. I'm here, as always, joined by my broadcast partner, the color commentary to my play-by-play, Lucille Crabblecorn.
How you doing, Derek? Nothing really warms my heart more than MMA action at the end of a year. Just something about it makes everything more special. These fighters have been put through the ringer. They got 1 more fight left for all of the glory on the line. None of the prize money, because again, no one's getting paid. These are amateurs. They will remain amateurs, but they have put in some amazing work this inaugural season of Global MEGAfist 12.
It absolutely will be all to play for and nothing to gain in the sense of monetary compensation. 7 fights in 6 months is the grueling schedule of our 6 finalists tonight. We also have over at cage side, well, he'll be at cage side. He's sitting to my left at the moment. He'll be at cage side during the fights, giving us eyewitness accounts and very close up-to-the-minute updates. It's Michael Oleander.
Thank you very much, Derek. This year, it's certainly been a case of what would many call charted territory. A lot of these people starting off here doing amateur MMA, not really sure of the financial boundaries and also what may happen with working not only your regular job that you get paid for, but also this unpaid job that you're risking your life and general health for the amusement of a lot of people here tonight at the Nougaty Center. Certainly one very historical night here in the Nougaty Center. Back to you.
No doubt about it. It is going to be a huge evening. We've got 6 fights, 3 championship fights, and a couple other bonus fights brought to you by you, the viewer, the fans, the hardcore fans of Global MEGAfist 12 have in fact weighed in on fights they would like to see. Let's go ahead and run down our card. First of all, the rules of all of our fights tonight. All of our fights, amateur mixed martial arts, sanctioned by someone, not exactly the state of Missouri, but hey, close enough. What that means is each round, 3-round fights. Each round is 2.5 minutes long, 150 seconds. That will be counting down in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. 10-point must scoring system is in effect, which means that the round winner will get 10 points, his opponent 9 or less. That will be scored on, of course, a litany of criteria. Of course, the basic rules: no to the groin, no hitting the back of the head, and no running on the moving walkway. If our fights go to a decision, judges will score it based on aggression, damage control, and the highest coach's poll rank, unless Notre Dame is available. Big main event tonight. We main event with the heavyweights. Fritz Milgram, Dr. Igor Tonic, the two heavyweights that topped their group. They've been basically favorites the entire time. They came off huge wins as well. Lucille, this is our huge main event. Milgram and Tonic, I'm excited for it.
Oh, absolutely. No one has looked even close to really stopping Fritz Milgram. He's had brief moments of slight trouble, but he has powered through it. He has persevered. That 6-0 record shows it to the fullest. Igor Tonic, he's dangerous. All heavyweight fighters are. It's going to be a tough, grueling fight. I have a slight bit of favoritism towards Dr. Igor Tonic. He did cure my lumbago with some sort of salve he supplied me for only about $300. I gotta say that was really generous of him. But Fritz Milgram has just been such an outstanding fighter. It's hard to pick against a guy like that.
Yeah, Fritz Milgram, the only fighter across all three weight classes to still be undefeated, a 6-0 record. No other fighter has that. It is on the line. Dr. Igor Tonic, 5-1. Both went through grueling fights as well in the semis. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but let's recap our next fight. It is the lightweight final. JC Switcher taking on Trevor Serrano. This is a bit of a surprise of a battle, Lucille. Both Serrano and Switcher finished second in their groups, which means they had to face a group winner from the opposite group, a favorite no less. Switcher with a TKO victory over the Goblin Rob Lynn. Trevor Serrano knocking out Miroslav Florislava, both in the semifinals, both taking the undefeated opponents and dealing them out their first loss. It's really anybody's game, and this lightweight division is really looking wide open for next year.
Oh, 100%, Derek. These guys epitomize the definition of an underdog story. Like you said, they both had to face the higher ranked opponents in the semifinals. They both had dramatic finishes. Again, two top level athletes that are still just putting things together in terms of their martial arts skills. I couldn't call this one. This is a surprise to me. I did not expect either man to make it, but it's going to be a great fight. I can be sure of that.
No doubt about that. Apologies for our graphic mishap there for a moment, but we of course have a third final, and that's going to be our middleweight final. Green screen be damned. It's the Tumor of Justice, Global Megafist 12's very own vigilante superhero who has got radiation coursing through his body, tried to turn it into superpowers. He just kind of fights crime now, taking on the Pickle King of New England, Dale Branston. And this is going to be an interesting one. These two have done battle before. This is the only fight we can say this, in the sense that the Tumor of Justice and Dale Branston fought on episode 11, their fourth fight. Branston got the win via decision, but this is a different sort of, this is a whole different jar of pickles, is it not, Lucille?
Oh, absolutely. Both guys know each other a little bit more. They know what to look out for. They know maybe what works and what to really focus on in this rematch. But the Tumor of Justice is a great submission fighter, really, just putting people away with his grappling ability. Decision Dale, as some people like to call him, he took us more slow and methodical pace. Most of his fights, he did get a few finishes when it really mattered to make it to the semifinals, but that doesn't matter now. The points no longer matter. It's just win and you are the champion. This is going to be a great fight. I mean, you can't really. These guys have changed so much since their meeting. It's you can't really say, well, just because Dale won that first encounter that he's got this one in the bag. It's both men are completely different fighters from that encounter.
I will have to agree with you 100% there. I will look at this. I'll give you a couple of statistics here. The Tumor of Justice in the group stage. Again, his one loss via decision to Dale Branston. The other 4 wins, all via submission. Dale Branston, that is 3 decision victories and 1 knockout victory in the final group stage match. The exact opposite is what you can say in the semifinals. The Tumor of Justice went to a decision with Chet Lama. It was a submission clinic, a battle, just going for the upper hand, but it took a decision to give the Tumor of Justice the win. However, Dale Branston is as fresh as a daisy. He knocked out Jerome Glorioso in 11 seconds. So it was a very opposite sort of it was mirror images of one another. It was polar opposite of one another in the semifinals. We'll see how it happens when they battle for the title tonight. And of course, we have 3 other fights on the card. Let's talk about the lightweights, Zeke Apnea and Ruben Fondant. Tonight, these two didn't have the best of times in the group stage, but they were fan favorites. We have Zeke Apnea, the insomniac who unfortunately cannot get a wink of sleep, also due to his energy drink sponsorship, taking on the sad baker, the ace of cakes, the cake boss. And he is the man who is sadly watching his creations destroyed before his very eyes by children and hungry parents. That will be a huge lightweight fight. We also have a middleweight battle. Paranorman, our host, taking on Ken Dahl. Lucille, this is an interesting one. Paranorman, our host, was such a strong competitor, and he just missed the cut on points when it came to the top 2 in his group. He faces a tough third-place fighter in Ken Dahl as well.
Oh, absolutely. That middleweight group was very, very tight when it came to who was going to make the cut. It's unfortunate that Paranorman just missed out making it to the semifinals. He could very well be in the finals if he had just earned enough points at the very end. But he's got a tough test in Ken Dahl. Dahl's been looking solid throughout. This is going to be a great matchup. I'd be interested to see if maybe next year these two get put in the same the same division, the same bracket for Global MEGAfist 12 season 2020.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It'll be an interesting thing. It could be, that's the thing, a lot of these could be precursors to what we see in 2020. And here we go, our other non-title fight. Lil 42 the answer, someone's favorite, I guess. Our resident SoundCloud rapper, Lil 42 the answer. The new single is dropping at some point. He takes on the man of the snakes, Damian Adder. These are 2 very tall heavyweights, very long-limbed fighters. It's going to be a distance battle, but we'll see. It's anyone's guess who's going to win this one.
Oh, absolutely. I thought 42, was maybe going to be a shoo-in for the semifinals with his first couple of wins. He looked very dominant, but he kind of stumbled at the end, going 3-2 overall. Adder, the mirror image 2-3, but like you said, both guys, I think, tipping the height stick at about 6'7". Very interesting matchup. Adder, I believe, is more of a submission grappler. Low 42 likes to keep it standing with his long frame. It's going to be a good matchup.
No doubt about that. I would have to agree with you on that one. It'll be an amazing, amazing fight coming up in just a bit. However, we're going to get things started with championship action right off the bat. The middleweight championship for 2019 will be on the line in just a moment. It is the Tumor of Justice taking on Dale Branston. The Pickle King of New England, Dale Branston, showing that he's not just Decision Dale. An 11-second knockout of President Jerome Glorioso. That is his legacy at the moment. His opponent, he's got it coursing through his veins. By that we mean exposure to horrible radiation. The tumor of justice. I guess our resident superhero, more like a vigilante, I guess. I guess it's a good thing he's on our side, I suppose. Let's go to the tail of the tape. Lucille, the height and reach goes to Dale Branston on this one.
Oh, absolutely. He's got the length. He's got the reach. With the Tumor of Justice, has used his size very well with getting submissions on people that don't really know how to defend them. Branston's got to be careful about the ground game. He's got to use that size to keep the fight standing.
No doubt about that. Well, we are going to see how this will play out. It's the middleweight championship, 185 pounds. The champion will be crowned right here, December 29th in Branson, Missouri, the Nougaty Center, and they are going right at each other. The Tumor of Justice going for the takedown. Again, kind of like what we'd expect to see, I think. And Branston, well, goes right back to standing it up. Again, I feel like maybe Branston's just finally coming into his own with these strikes. His last two fights, both knockout victories. I mean, Brandon won against Wilhelm Schrei, but that shocking knockout in 11 seconds over Glorioso. Maybe he's just figuring out what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's starting to put things together, and he won without, I guess, resorting to his power. And now that he's kind of put it all together, it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out for his opponents. But the Tumor is looking for a Kimura early in this bout.
No doubt about that, and it's he usually goes for the armbar. I think that's been mostly his go-to submission. But anything he can go for, I think will help. But again, it's pretty fast. These middleweights, they've got some size, but like you always tend to say, Lucille, they've got the speed and they have that nice little mix of speed and power. And both these fighters know how to deal heavy-handed blows, especially if anything, like the Tumor of Justice, if your limbs are slightly enlarged.
Oh, absolutely. Branston at 6'5", he's about the size of some of our heavyweight competitors, and it's surprising he's down here at 185. But I guess that frame just suits him better. The long, lankier frame as opposed to all that heavy muscle to carry around, which that can hamper a fighter just as much as help them if they don't know how to use it well.
Well, that's the thing. When you're a pickle man like Branston is, you're always just so full of brining liquid, which again is very salt-based, so that makes the sweating out and the losing of water weight and making weight, it maybe almost seems like it's a natural occurrence. He just sweats out all that salt water and can make 185 very well, because he definitely carries around, like just looking at him, compared to the rest of the division, he's absolutely carrying around some extra pounds, which again could always be a strategy. We always talk about boxers, what they walk around at and what they fight at. It's two entirely different weight classes.
100%. If you can dump all that with a easy water cut and rehydrate going up to another maybe 15-20 pounds and lay that against your opponent, that's a huge help.
And of course the question, is that safe? Of course it's not. But regardless of that, we're going to go down to Michael Oleander for some information after that first round. It's got started pretty quick, Mike.
Yes, indeed, Derek. It got pretty quick, and in fact, I was speaking with the quarterman of Dale Branston, who had indicated that he had prepared for this fight by attempting to spend the holidays pickling an entire Christmas tree. When I asked a little bit further about that information, they said, quote, "It was delicious." As for the Tumor of Justice, with the lead vest they required me to put back on, he said he was beginning some training this holiday from a fabled radioactive fighter, Chemo Leprapulso. He got some. We'll get some additional words from that here. Back to you.
Let's fight.
Chemo.
No, Chemo is a legend in this sport.
Chemo is
He
a legend. That is no laughing matter to be training with Chemo.
Oh, big knockdown from Branston.
He absolutely did get the knockdown, and again, pickling an entire Christmas tree. I don't know what even to.
Well, if you're looking for a fiber cleanse to really, get the Christmas ham or turkey or the cakes and cookies, flush that out of you after you kind of maybe overindulge during the holidays, I'm sure a whole Christmas tree is going to really up your fiber intake and just clean you out very, very well. So again, smart move from Branston, I'd say.
Really knows how to master the weight cut in his own way. That really is something we talk about through all these fighters. They're amateurs. They have day jobs or other lifestyle choices. It's about finding the way that your lifestyle fits in to this random, mildly above ground fighting tournament that you've suddenly been entered into.
Oh, 100%. It's a work life / training / recovery balance that is difficult even for pro fighters, and for amateurs, it's double tough, if not triple tough.
Cannot stress this enough. All 6 of our championship fighters tonight, all of our finalists, have fought on the 10th, so that is less than a month ago to recover. As we see, the Tumor taking the back. We don't often see him in this position. Usually he's going for the arm, but again, just going for whatever he sees available, and he's been cut too. I can't tell if that's just scar tissue or what, but there's definitely some blood. It's all over the shoulder of Branston. I think Branston's going to have to take one of those cleansing showers afterwards, like you see in the movies where they wear the hazmat suits.
Yeah, that's definitely a top priority after this fight's over. You don't want any of the Tumor of Justice's various expulsions to get into any open cuts or orifices, for your own safety.
No doubt about that. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, and you would think we should have to clean the mat, but what I say is I clock out of here when the fights are over, and then when we kind of have our post-mortem meeting afterwards, and we'll go and have a meal and some drinks. How they clean this place when I'm gone is not my concern. With that, we go down to Michael Oleander after round 2. We head to round 3. Michael Oleander, any sort of further info on this fight?
Yes, indeed, Derek. In fact, it was the Tumor of Justice. I was asking about how he recovers in between rounds, and he actually uses an entire pouch filled with what he calls Radaway. I'm not really sure of the fallout of that type of that refreshment, but they indicated it's a Capri Sun pouch filled entirely with battery acid and a tiny metal straw. Now, one of the determining factors of the judge's decision is the ranking of their respective college teams. The Tumor of Justice is electing to go with Arkansas due to Bobby Petrino. However, for Dale Branston, they're indicating in either Boston State, Boston Tech, or Boston A&W. Not really sure what the reference there. Back to you.
Very interesting strategy there. Great to see that. I don't know if that's necessarily what we're going to be going to. I mean, the way these two fight, we could be up for a decision. Again, we're at round 3 already. 150 seconds on the clock, but
Big
already.
Shots!
Oh, the Tumor's
Big
down!
Shots pounding away!
Could it be it? Yes! It's over!
It's over!
Branston's the champion!
Let the pickles flow!
And the pickles, it is in fact brine time for Dale Branston. The Pickle Man gets the win. And they are going to be pickling everything in the New England area. They're going to be bringing in the new year with all sorts of vegetables and relishes. He will, in fact, relish in this victory. That is your champion, Dale Branston. I don't know if I necessarily said I could have expected that one, but what a victory and what a well-earned performance by him.
Oh, absolutely. He really put it on when he saw blood or whatever was leaking out of the Tumor of Justice and just laid in those heavy, heavy ground and pound shots to finish it off. Amazing performance from Dale Branston.
That is our first of 3 champions crowned tonight. We have a non-title match. This one selected by our many super fans, Zeke Apnea and Ruben Fondant. He may be the ace of cakes, but he's gonna need to do a little bit more improvement to his mixed martial arts skills in 2020. Ruben Fondant just barely making the cut. Okay. Necessarily acknowledge well enough the energy drink sponsorship of Zeke Apnea, the desperate for a good night of sleep, coming down to the neon-like structure in his jammies, leaving his boxer shorts. Endless energy for Zeke Apnea. It's actually done him all right. He got 2 big wins in the group stage. He will compete again in 2020. Tail of the tape, relatively identical. Personality-wise, not so sure about that.
Yeah, Zeke is doing rough. He's on very low energy most of the time, unless he gets a nice sip of his energy drink. But Ruben is just extremely depressed. It's going to be tough to see who's mental fatigue can be counteracted with the adrenaline of a fist fight.
No doubt about that. I think that's one of the things that kind of becomes an ongoing theme, is just a release, a bit of a place to vent, to channel your frustration, your feelings into the Global MEGAfist 12. We're doing good here, and if I say it enough, it will actually be true. Ruben Fondant, expert baker, outstanding cake sculptor, produces beautiful craftsmanship, delivers it to parties, and then stands in horror as children are eating it and tearing it apart and just ripping apart, not truly appreciating the art of how long it took to carve that Rice Krispie square into the entire cast of SpongeBob. Whereas Zeke Apnea cannot sleep. Word is he lives above an underground fight club. That we do not know, that we cannot confirm. He also has an energy drink sponsorship, probably allows him to live rent-free, but he is going to be very tired and is channeling, well, he's going to try to put to sleep his opponent Fondant with an arm triangle.
Well, that's indeed, that is looking tight. I don't think Fondant is doing enough to defend. He did not.
He's going to tap an Apnea. Well, wow. I guess when you are so focused on sleep, it just becomes an expertise, and he just he would have put Ruben Fondant to sleep had he not tapped out. That is a beauty of a submission in the first round for Zeke Apnea.
Wow. Yeah, I've got if not for Chet Lama, I would say Zeke Apnea is the most improved fighter of the second half of this season, because Zeke has definitely been showing a lot more out of his abilities these last couple of bouts.
That is a 3-fight winning streak for Zeke Apnea. His first by a submission, but he has come to play, and maybe if he can rest over the New Year holiday, he'll be back in action in 2020. And Let's see how he can do then. Well, we have 2 fights in the books, and we are going to go to our next one in just a moment. It's more non-title action. We're going to go over to the heavyweight division. Lil 42 the answer, taking on Damian Adder. Who is literally a snake handler. No, that is not a euphemism. Damian Adder, the snake-like fighter, performed admirably in his group. Going 2 and 3. 2 of those wins via submission. Well, he doesn't have a jacket to take off. But what is hot is that new mixtape that dropped. I guess he's still wearing the shirt despite the fact that it's no longer November 13th. That the mixtape has in fact dropped. Lil 42 the answer. 3 wins, all of them by knockout or TKO. As we go to the tail of the tape, both fighters very tall, reach advantage barely goes to Adder. But aside from the fact that both are very large, very lengthy fighters, Lucille, these two competitors could not be more different.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Adder is a submission specialist. Lil 42 is a striker, and you know, it's always interesting when people that are a bit taller, a bit more rangy, decide to use that for submissions as opposed to stand-up skills. But you know, I can't really say it's worked great for Adder with his less than 500 record. But you know, we'll see how he goes against another guy of pretty much equal height. It's an early takedown.
And he does. That's not what we expect to see. Again, 42 the answer. We're talking about how both these fighters, very long limbs, use their heights to their advantage. But on the ground, you can only be so big. But again, this is right into Adder's playground. I don't understand what Lil 42 was doing. And again, Adder able to just dominate on the ground 40 seconds into this fight.
Oh, absolutely. 42 should think about standing up, backing away, force a stand-up fight. But Adder with his long limbs,
try to slide out of this, but I don't know if this is possible. This is going for that armbar early on in the fight, so the fighter's not really sweaty yet. And sure enough, man's not hot because he's not sweaty. And he made Lil 42 the answer tap out. I believe that was in under 1 minute.
incredible. I heard some rumors that Lil 42 was kind of despondent that his mixtape hadn't been getting the notice that he felt it deserved, and if his head wasn't in this fight, that's a huge mistake because he could have gotten badly hurt being unfocused on his opponent.
Yeah, his head may not have been in this fight, but both of Adder's fangs were in fact in that fight, cranking on that arm, extending the hips, getting the head out of the way, and coiling up like a snake. He just struck and got a big win. His third win via submission in just under a minute. What a finish for Damian Adder. That's his first, not only his first, that's the fastest win he's gotten. Not only that, he's never even finished a fight in the first round. The other two submission victories in the second and third. We've got a huge title fight coming up next. It's another one. It's our second one, the lightweights. It is a crapshoot. Anyone's guess who could win this one. Sereno and Switcher. Trevor Sereno, the high school guidance counselor, tries to keep the kids off the street, knows it all too well. Some say he keeps them off the streets because it lowers the competition. If you're not familiar with JC Switcher, if you haven't been following the Global MEGAfist 12 all season long, this man is a living mannequin. And you may say, well, how is that possible? Well, I'll tell you, he literally, as his job, stands in store windows and in displays, modeling clothes for hours at a time. I guess it's good work if you can get it. It shows that he has stamina, but we look at the tail of the tape, and just a slight advantage to Switcher, and Sereno does not know when he's beaten, does not know when he's an underdog. Doesn't seem to matter. He just finds a way to scrap and win.
Absolutely, he digs deep into some unknown reserve of tenacity and has pulled out some victories that have been very impressive so far in this whole season.
No doubt about that, and no doubt about that, and here we go. The lightweight championship on the line. The 2019 championship of the lightweight division, 155 pounds, here in the Global MEGAfist 12. We've crowned Dale Branston as our middleweight champion. Who will join him atop the 155-pound pedestal? And yeah, this is going to be a huge one. This is a bit of an unexpected one. Both these fighters got upset wins over undefeated fighters. Miroslav Florislava, the fire safety enthusiast out of Group A, was beaten by Trevor Sereno, dealt his first loss. Not only just a first loss, but a knockout loss. Rob Lynn, the Goblin, who had been knocking out fighter after fighter, was TKO'd by JC Switcher. It was surprises all around, but I think these two fighters have proven they belong here.
Nice clinch work from Sereno, and absolutely, Derek. These guys have definitely, been the underdog, in their groups for basically the entire time. They had, undefeated guys, up above them that they just, could not catch, had to settle for second place spots, but they made the most of those opportunities to get to the finals here.
No doubt about that, and again, this seems to be a more cagey first round, just kind of filling each other out. The clinch seems to benefit Sereno a little bit more. Oh, but nice leverage used by Switcher, launching that head kick. And Sereno just kind of took it on the side of the jaw. Chin on him. He's proven he can take a lot of punishment.
Oh, that annoyed Sereno. You could see Switcher kind of taunting after he had hit that little trip, and Sereno just ran in with a knee up the middle.
Yeah, don't want to get too careless. That can easily get you off your game. I think Switcher maybe sees there's a temper in Sereno and is trying to just strike for something. Hits an uppercut. That uppercut's been there all round. I've seen him hit it about 3 times already. And that is going to be the end of round 1. Sereno still looks a little bit heated. He'll have to be calmed down and get some advice from his corner to stay calm. Let's head on to Michael Oleander at cage side for some more on this one.
Letting him go a little bit. Okay? We can't wait for him too long. So you've got to stay on.
We have Michael down there.
Moving forward while you're punching. And you can't stop in one place.
We may not have Michael down there, so we're going to go ahead and go back to the replay. Lucille, nice overhand left from the southpaw Sereno.
Yeah, a very close round. Both men utilizing good clinch work. Good grappling exchanges. Tough one to score. I honestly don't know who I'd give this one to, but knowing both these fighters, the judges probably won't come into play here.
Gentlemen, you ready? You ready?
No doubt about that. And we're going to see how the second round will, in fact, do. Again, Switcher in the store brand. I guess gym shorts. Trevor Sereno in the blue. Blue really is his color. Just seems to really have an attraction to that color. Oh, big head kick! Oh, and Sereno's hurt. He's backing off and covering up. I think this is, well, he didn't really charge in so much, but this just shows the danger in Switcher strikes.
Derek, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you.
My apologies on the audio. A little
right
bit,
ahead.
you're getting my words here for that. My apologies there. JC Switcher was able to spend the holidays enjoying the company of his new 140-pound girlfriend, made entirely of stainless steel and latex that cannot be easily moved and has to be kept in a public location. Certainly a lot of awkward looks with the family pictures with her giant latex titties hanging out. As for Trevor Sereno, he spent the holidays initiating what we called career counseling, where he had other prospective career counselors put on a beating to new prospective employers, or employees, I should say. Back to you.
Fair enough. Well, that's very interesting to weigh in as well. And again, Sereno going for that clinch. This seems to be a better strategy for Sereno. Nice knee up the middle. Throwing some elbows. This might be the way to wear down Switcher, who we've seen has stamina.
Yeah, this is draining on a fighter to be stuck in that clinch position, taking shots to the body, to the head, knees, elbows, punches, uppercuts. Just, Sereno is really doing some damage.
I think the big thing is after taking that head kick early in the round, I think after he was a bit enraged and angry in the first round, I think he's kind of been focused that head kick in a way just kind of rattled his brain and made him realize, hey, this is a fight. This is time to get serious.
Yeah, Switcher might regret being a little too patient, not following up with shots after Sereno looked clearly hurt by that head kick. He played it very safe and didn't rush in, which it can be commended with anyone in the cage. But if he comes to lose this fight, it's going to be a moment he'll definitely regret.
No doubt about that. What we're seeing as we get down to the final 10 seconds here in round number 2. The lightweight championship on the line. These two fighters going 4-2 over the course of the last 6 months. Yeah, and in the clinch to end the round. Nose bloodied, but spirit not deterred. Trevor Sereno, well, he looks worse for wear, but he's come to fight. This could be anyone's fight at the moment. Michael Oleander, we go back down to you once more for any more input on this fight.
Yes, indeed, Derek. Again, one of the determining factors of the judge's decision is how high the coach ranking polls go for college football, referencing in this fight. Trevor Sereno, JC Switcher actually running a little bit of a problem here because he doesn't really have a favorite in terms of a college football. You said that any jersey looks good on him, but just don't endorse any of the student athletes, so that way it doesn't take away from any of his cut that he has from his job. As for Trevor Sereno, he said the best group of thugs to bring to a football team would be Miami University. Back to you.
Fair enough. Well, representing DU indeed. And here we are, the final round. Third round. It is all up for grabs. Lucille, I'm not sure I could pick a winner based on how those first 2 rounds might have been judged.
Oh, absolutely. This was very close. You could maybe edge Switcher in the second based on the damage from the head kick. He was maybe a little closer to finishing than Sereno was, but it's a very tight race here.
No doubt about that. And we're seeing a taken to the ground. It's like the first time really this entire fight we've seen this fight taken to the ground. It's been stand-up for the first 2 rounds, no?
There was a brief moment of kind of this back and forth grappling, but it quickly returned to standing as both men couldn't really get an advantageous position. And there we go, both men back on their feet.
Well, back to their bread and butter, if you will. What's gotten them gotten them so far already. With only 90 seconds left to go, Switcher finds himself in that clinch, that double necktie, often just referred to as the Muay Thai clinch. It's a good exhausting hold to be putting an opponent in. It just allows you to throw some strikes like those elbows. Those are just going to be cutting open Switcher, and it's a good thing these two fighters will have a lot of time to heal after this. They will They will have to heal some cuts. Just let him go. But oh God, the Switcher! Oh, he's out! Oh, he's down!
He is out cold.
And he's jumping on him and throwing punches up the lifeless body. JC Switcher, adrenaline rush and everything, is the champion at 155 pounds.
You could see after they broke that clinch that Sereno definitely was gasping for air. He did not have the stamina, and Switcher did, and just landed some heavy hooks to the jaw.
2 left hooks, one after the other. The first one just rocked Sereno, left the jaw wide open. And Switcher, look at that. Oh, there it is. The head just lands as well. He was out the minute, out before he hit the ground. Anakin alive. Our champion, JC Switcher. Perhaps he can upgrade to some name brands over the store brand that he seems to be wearing. What a fight. What a fight that was.
Tremendous bout. It was neck and neck pretty much the whole time, and Switcher's stamina and toughness really got him this win. He managed to survive, whereas Sereno was kind of huffing air at the very end. He couldn't quite keep up with that pace.
No doubt about that. I think great showings from both fighters. Switcher and Sereno will be ones to watch in the new year when the next tournament comes out. However, we have one more non-title fight. Paranorman, our host, Ken Dahl. It's a battle of the third place fighters in the middleweight division. And we're going to that one in just a minute. Dahl, you've heard of the stories of women who have been surgically enhanced to look more like a Barbie doll. Well, Ken Dahl has done the same with the male equivalent. The less questions you ask, the fewer questions you ask about that, the better. To have to explain, especially if you're not familiar with what like this stuff. This is Paranorman, our host. You may recognize him if you're a fan of those ghost hunting shows. Those shows where they go to haunted areas and they test for spirits and paranormal activity and things like that. He's got a very interesting concept to his show, of course, called Ghost Insertion. He welcomes the spirits that are present into his own body. They manipulate him. And he's been using that all season to help him get to a 4-1 record. However, it was not enough. Too many of his fights were for few points. He did not make it to the semifinals when he used to be a shoo-in for quite some time. Looks a little sluggish right now, though, Lucille. I'm not sure.
Let's go, guys.
It said empty vessel. I don't know if our graphics department knows something we don't, but Paranorman, our host, he's usually been able to use the talents of the spirits that have inhabited him. Versus Ken Dahl, who has just been, well, plastic don't break too easily.
Yeah, Dahl is a tough test for anyone. He's got a lot of size, a lot of reach, especially against Paranorman. This is going to be a good fight. I'm sure Paranorman is a little upset that he couldn't make it, onto the next round of the Global Megafist, but it's just something to improve on for next year.
Came so close to it. It was 1 point away. He got a decision victory over Jerome Glocioso, but he's going to throw a head kick and knock Dahl down and try to go for the finish, but Dahl is dodging, and he's just avoiding those punches and able to clinch up.
Great defense from Ken Dahl to avoid, a stoppage on that ground and pound.
This was a fight I think a lot of people were very interested in seeing. The two fighters that just barely missed out. Again, Paranorman, our host, he needed a win, but he needed to finish his fight against Jerome Glorioso, the first place fighter in Group B. He only got a decision, and a submission victory over by Chet Lama was what put Lama into the semifinals on 18 points, despite Paranorman having the better record. Again, we have a point system here. You get 3 points for a win in the group stage, plus you get bonus points if you finish your fight in earlier rounds. Whereas Ken Dahl, 3-2, he was tied on points with Dale Branston, but he did not get the win over Branston. In episode 5, their second fight, Branston won via decision. Ken Dahl's got some impressive wins, though. A first round knockout over Wilhelm Schrei, a knockout over Gordon Wu, who was a tough opponent for many, and he took Donnie Bay to a decision. Paranorman's got some good wins too. Again, wins over pretty much everyone across the board, with the exception of Chet Lama, who he lost to via submission. He's put out a good showing right now. Both fighters have put up a strong showing.
Absolutely. This has been a very good round so far. I would edge it to Paranorman with that head kick and ground and pound that almost netted him the finish in the first.
Al came back very strongly and very impressively. That's the end of the first round. We go to the second round in just a second after we go to the replay, but Michael Oleander is at cage side. What kind of insight can you give us here on these two fighters? We have Michael there.
There is no Dana White, only Zool. I have been possessed by the coaching tenure of Dave Weinstein in Pittsburgh. Vote for Temple and Rutgers.
Use the right hand.
I'm actually terrified right now.
Are you ready?
I mean, I've seen enough MMA in Slovakia that's kind of normal for me, but I understand if it's something you're not used to.
Fair enough.
But, it just comes with experience.
All right then. Thank you, Michael. I'm sure he'll be fine. Again, kind of something you kind of should expect, I suppose, when a man who has so many.
I mean, we will need to track down a live chicken after the fights tonight, just to you know what I mean, just a little wink, wink, take care of things.
I mean, it's Missouri. That shouldn't be too hard to come by.
Yeah.
Of course, we have Paranorman again. It looks pretty good for someone who was seemingly so sluggish. Again, he drops the doll in a big way, trying to go for the finish.
Wow, this is impressive. Paranorman is really putting it to the bigger, presumably stronger fighter, but those might just be glamour muscles that Ken Dahl is sporting.
And he's definitely sculpted. I think that is in fact surgically sculpted. I don't know if that's technically tattooing, but it's kind of like when you airbrush muscle definition onto someone, except that it's just permanent. I don't know.
It might be just some of those synthol injections. Just that weird goop you can inject to make it look like you have muscles, but they don't actually provide functional strength.
When you think about our entire roster. Oh my goodness!
Big shots.
Dahl going for the finish. He drops Paranorman.
Oh my God!
And performs an exorcism just like that, taking the win. Ken Dahl. I was about to say so many of our Global MEGAfist 12 fighters deal with strange goop that it wouldn't surprise me. But I think some of that ectoplasm may have been punched right out of the skull. Ken Dahl, again, if you open up a Stretch Armstrong, there's strange goop coming out. I think, his arms were strong as he ground and pounded his way to victory. That's a bit of a comeback, I think.
Oh yeah, he almost got finished twice in this fight, and I gotta say, I think the ref gave Ken a lot more leeway in his moments than Paranorman. I think that was a bit of an early stoppage. They could have gone a little bit longer, allow Norman a chance to defend and get back in this fight.
Well, that is going to be it for Paranorman until the next year. We'll see if he can get his spirits up again and something. But it is time for the fight we've all been talking about. The heavyweight championship main eventing here. Fritz Milgram, Dr. Igor Tonic. It's all happening right now. Igor Tonic with his various solutions and medicines. Sure, you can trust him. His opponent, Fritz Milgram, the absolute dominating heavyweight in this division, the most dominant fighter across all three divisions, a man who experiments so much that he has actual electricity coursing through his body, and he has been able to channel that and do some amplitude ass kickings on his opponent. Dr. Igor Tonic might be the toughest opponent he's faced. A slight 10-pound advantage. But Lucille, is that even going to matter at this point? These two are just the top-class fighters in the heavyweight division.
I don't think a 10 pounds at this size is going to matter too much. If it was, if it was a little bit more, it might. But these guys, these large lads, these absolute units are used to fighting big strong guys, and it's going to be a knockdown drag out fight, I'm sure.
No doubt about that. Well, here we go. Main event, the final fight of 2019 for Global MEGAfist 12. The heavyweight crown on the line. Milgram in the yellow, Tonic in the black. Will it be the Medicine Man or the Electric Man?
A lot of electric mayhem coming out of Fritz Milgram to Tonic, and Tonic is just weathering the storm as best he can, but you don't want to take more than a handful of punches from any heavyweight, pro or amateur. No,
I think that's been one of the strong suits of Milgram, is his ability to just avoid too much damage. He had a huge semifinal against Oliver Lehman that I think absolutely they beat the hell out of each other, but Milgram did the majority of the beating on his opponent. Tonic had a little bit easier. He had Lonnie Fescue, surprised him with a giant knockout. Oh, big kick to the face. What flexibility from the tall Tonic.
Yeah, it's not expected that a guy that big is. Just as I was praising that front kick, Milgram with a spinning wheel kick. But yeah, these big guys throwing these strikes, that's impressive that they're that limber. Oh.
They're moving really well, but they're absorbing so much. There's no way this is going to last the full 3 rounds. You have to imagine. You just gotta watch out as either of them, any of these strikes have deadly intentions. They could just spell disaster. They're moving really. That's the dude. These two fighters moving very well. Good head moving, good moving in and out. Again, for untrained fighters, they seem to understand the survival mechanisms. But Tonic!
Big shots from Tonic.
Catches Milgram going in! Could this be it? The O has gone!
Oh my God.
Dr. Igor Tonic! We live in a world where Dr. Igor Tonic is our champion, and Fritz Milgram has been dethroned as the undefeated powerhouse of the heavyweight division. Our first ever heavyweight champion is the back alley salesman, the medicine man himself, Dr. Igor Tonic. What a finish. I've got to be surprised. But what a beating he put on. Just found an opportunity and just jumped on it.
Incredible performance. Just landed those big punches and did not let up until the ref was dragging him on.
What a fight. 2 minutes into the first round, and that is all she wrote. What a night of fights it has been. Let's just recap it in case we didn't remember. There's your champions right there. Dr. Igor Tonic, Dale Branston, JC Switchard. Let's talk about them in just a second. Our lightweight champion, 155 pounds, the living mannequin himself, JC Switcher. We saw such spirit from him. I mean, what more can you say about JC Switcher that we haven't already? He's got the look, he's got the stamina, and he clearly has the power behind those strikes.
Absolutely. He surprised me. He impressed me. It's really great that such an underdog managed to really push through time and time again, get to the semifinals, win that, getting into the finals and taking home this championship crown for the lightweight division. Incredible work all season long from JC Switcher.
Yes, I'm sure there will be a most glorious championship medallion or title belt or trophy or something bestowed
Did
by
somebody say most glorious and honorable champion?
Yes, most glorious and honorable Mr. Naga making an appearance.
No, most glorious and honorable Mr. Naga's business representative.
Oh, he's not here. I'm sorry. He's not here.
I do speaking for him. He is a busy man doing, currently developing electricity and fostering all 8 of his girlfriends.
Or be it for me to bring him away from his personal business, of course. But I guess you're here to deliver prizes to our 3 champions. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
JC Switcher has received a $25 gift card to to fabled chain of Japanese convenience stations. Yes.
Brilliant. Outstanding. Hopefully they'll be, I don't know, are they going to be available in America anytime soon?
Yes.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, watch out, Wawa and Sheets. There is a new place, and I'm watching you, Royal Farms. There's a new brand on the market. Talk about our middleweight division, Dale Branston. Lucille, Decision Dale no more, I have to say, after his last 3 fights and his very impressive knockouts win over Jerome Glorioso and his win over the Tumor of Justice. Dale Branston, what more can we say about him?
Yeah, the Pickle King has ascended to godhood with this championship win. It's he is no longer playing it safe. He is putting people to sleep with his fists, and it's impressive that he was biding his time. He clearly didn't want his opponents to get a read on him with his early fights. Just content to grind away to decisions, and has been unloading unreal power once the fights actually mattered, and has been getting his opponents out of there as quick as he can. Just great strategy from Dale Branston.
Of course, Representative to Most Glorious and Honorable Mr. Naga, is there an awarding to Mr. Branston, who I'm sure is still recovering in the back?
Yes, Mr. Naga has awarded Mr. Dale Branston the Wizard of Oz Omaha Steaks Fun Pack. It is the brain, the heart, and the remaining entrails indicating courage, of Mr. Naga's most recent business acquisition.
Yes, the
one trip to Kansas.
the courage, the courage being, of course, the guts, I suppose. Well, he definitely did show heart. He did show guts, and he showed with his brain that he can, in fact, win a fight. And I'm sure that trip to Kansas will be interesting, I guess, as well. But after the trip's over, he won't be in Kansas anymore. And of course, our heavyweight champion, Dr. Igor Tonic, the medicine man. Into the maze, enter the medicine. And Dr. Igor Tonic, well, he had a prescription that he filled it in a random unmarked vial, and he delivered it with a win. We weren't expecting this level of competition, but he has risen above and defeated a lot of favorites in the heavyweight division, has he not, Lucille?
He has done incredible work so far. My only concern is what foul machinations Dr. Igor Tonic will get up to with this heavyweight championship under his belt, or if it is a belt around his waist, or however exactly that's going to work.
It truly is the most nefarious of timelines for the heavyweight division. Representative Most Glorious Mr. Naga, is there a presentation to Dr. Tonic as well?
Yes. To Dr. Igor Tonic. Mr. Naga has decided to make significant investment for the worldwide rollout of Cologne Cleanser, the spray-on laxative.
Wow, I only heard about that in rumor in testing phases, but what a huge benefactor Mr. Naga is. Praise be to Mr. Naga. May he live for 10,000 years. I think we have to agree on that one, Lucille.
100%. May his reign of life and terror never end. All praise be to the most glorious and honorable Mr. Naga.
May you void your bows 10,000 times.
Hopefully not too frequently, one after the other, but yes, I would like that as well. Thank you again to the representative of Most Glorious Honorable Mr. Naga. Any more things? We're looking forward. We're very excited to see what this will be in 2020 in the new year. But any more messages from Most Glorious Honorable Mr. Naga, or is that basically it?
He says, do not get eliminated.
Fair enough. Good advice. It is right you are. Can you believe that we are at the end of our first ever Global MEGAfist 12? It felt like it had just started 6 months ago. Lucille, what a night, what a tournament it has been.
Oh, absolutely. It's dreams were made, dreams were destroyed. Global MEGAfist 12, inaugural season 2019. It had everything you could ask for in MMA except for a winner's purse, and that's not even necessary with the heart on display in each and every one of the fights we saw.
Including the heart that is in part of that prize package given to Dale Branston, among with the entrails and brain meats. But nonetheless, thank you, Lucille, for joining me for this 17-episode journey into amateur mixed martial arts. We can't wait to see what these fighters will do in 2020 when the tournament begins up again in March and extends throughout the entire calendar year. It's gonna be a big one. There will be new fighters, new matchups. We hope you join us for that as well. We can't wait to bring it to you once more. This has been the Global MEGAfist 12. I'd like to thank our cage side reporter, Michael Oleander. I'd like to thank my commentary partner, Lucille Cramblecorn. I'd like to thank all of you for checking this out, whether you checked it out on YouTube or live here on IRM. Thank you so much for making this a success and making this something that is coming back in 2020. We have 3 champions. We have JC Switcher, Dale Branston, Dr. Igor Tonic. They will be back at square one in the new year, trying to become 2-time champions. My name is Derek Osceola. This has been Global MEGAfist 12, and we praise Mr. Naga, most glorious and honorable Mr. Naga, for his bounty tonight. May he live for 10,000 years. From Branson, Missouri, good night.